Let's just say, when making friends in the future, please stay away from anyone named Luke, okay? Look at this coward. Luke has sold Zara out yet again. This time he led the robbers straight to Zara's house, plotting both robbery and murder. Even more absurdly, the robbers tried to use Luke's life to threaten Zara.
Tell me, or I start with your friend. He's not my friend. But Zara knows if Luke dies, she won't survive either.
Fortunately, Zara has a life-saving bargaining chip. She knows someone has pocketed £20 sterling million in stolen funds. She successfully uses this leverage to get exactly what she wanted: a chance for revenge on Luke.
I get to take the gag off him. Wow.
Morgan then takes the two of them to Milo's house just as Milo arrives home from work. He immediately senses something is wrong, but Morgan is already standing behind him with a gun. Morgan retrieves Milo's hardware wallet from the safe. While being forced to enter the password, Milo grabs a spray can from the table and hides it in his hand. When questioned about the password, Milo claims that memorizing such a code is too dangerous. He hid the seed phrase at his office instead.
Just as Morgan reaches for his ID badge. Oh my god!
In the chaos, Milo is stabbed in the chest and falls silent. To save his own skin, Luke claims he knows where the password is hidden. He had previously stumbled upon Milo's highly secret hiding spot. With £20 sterling million on the line, Morgan takes the two of them to the office. Luke actually finds a secret compartment under a football trophy containing the wallet's seed phrase. As Luke hands over the code, he suddenly strikes.
1, 2,
Now Luke prepares to call the police, but the office phones have been cut, so he heads downstairs to find a way out. But as Luke came downstairs, Kovacs, who had just broken in, knocked him unconscious. As it turned out, Kovacs was there to investigate Milo's files. Meanwhile, Morgan regained consciousness. Zara held him at gunpoint, but Morgan clearly sensed that she didn't have the nerve to shoot. Police are on their way. Morgan, you need to leave now. You can still get away. These words served as a wake-up call for him. Morgan realized this was no time for a standoff. The priority was securing the hardware wallet, but Luke had already made off with the wallet. Unbeknownst to them, the hit squad had already arrived downstairs, accompanied by agents from I-5.
What? Now we wait. You pick them up as quickly as possible. Make it look like nothing ever happened. Oh, watching from the shadows. Morgan waited for one to be alone and garroted him with a wire.
Meanwhile, Zara spotted the squad. Thinking they were there to silence her, she quickly hatched a plan. She rushed to the computer, found a specific document, and hit print. But strangely, the squad's target wasn't Zara. Their objective was Morgan to stop him before he could do more damage. At that moment, Morgan cornered the newly conscious Luke, demanding he hand over the hardware wallet. Luke cites the chance to throw the wallet away as a distraction as Morgan scrambled for it. Luke shut the elevator doors and made a temporary escape. A fierce gun battle immediately erupted between the squad and Morgan. By the time the female operative arrived, she was met with the bodies of her teammates. Having escaped, Luke finally found a moment to call the police. By now, Morgan was also critically wounded. He was forced to inject himself with a stimulant to keep going. Meanwhile, Kovacs had been shot and could do nothing but wait for backup. As the gunshot ceased, Zara was unsure of the outcome, but spotting the taser on Kovacs, she ignored his warnings and decided to head up and investigate. Zara felt her ordeal shouldn't be for nothing. If everyone was dead, the money would be lying there, waiting to be claimed. Little did she expect Morgan to be such a formidable fighter. She was spotted by him the moment she arrived. Zara was forced to dodge in the shadows, biding her time, as Morgan searched for her. Zara caught him off guard with the taser. However, Zara failed to finish him off, giving him a chance to retaliate. Fortunately, at the critical moment, she grabbed the taser again. This time, she didn't hold back, holding on until the battery was drained. Meanwhile, the sound of sirens echoed from below. Zara glanced at the hardware wallet on the floor as the police quickly took over. After being searched, Zara returned to the ground floor and shared a tight embrace with Luke. Zara and Luke had regained their freedom. Following My5's instructions, they provided their statements to the police, pinning all the blame on the deceased Milo. Over the next 2 weeks, news broke that the stolen £4 billion pension fund was flowing from tax haven accounts into those of 32 public figures. With the pensions of countless ordinary people at stake, public pressure mounted, and the government finally buckled. At a hastily called press conference, the Prime Minister announced a thorough investigation into international tax havens within the UK's overseas territories. Shortly after the announcement, the Chancellor and other high-ranking officials resigned, while the stolen £4 billion pension fund mysteriously returned to the firm. The entire case felt like a meticulously orchestrated large-scale PR stunt, using a pension fund as bait to bind the interests of the common people together. Its aim was to expose the deep-seated corruption within the financial system and tax havens, thereby forcing the government to finally take action. This move was brilliant. The mastermind behind all this is undoubtedly someone with a deep mastery of finance, but who simultaneously harbors a profound hatred for the industry. A name suddenly flashed through Kovac's mind, and those striking words began to echo in his ears once again.
Who is this?
This is Darren Yoshida. He's a senior financial investigator attached to our economic crime department.
Are you joking? He's an accountant. You've got a fucking accountant on this. I am not going to be talked down to by some fucking loser accountant who has clearly been such a fucking failure in his life that he ends up working for the police.
Never gained any accountancy qualifications, but as well as being a fully qualified financial investigator, I am a chartered financial analyst, a chartered alternative investment analyst, and a certified financial risk manager. There are fewer than 100 triple charter holders in the world, and the management of incompetent sector. I earned the designation while working as a risk manager for Greencrest Capital. By the time I left, we had built up an AUM of just under $25 billion. I do draw the line at weapons of mass destruction, but apart from that, we're quite similar. So Tommy, get the fuck out of my sight. Kovac has been suspended from the force, but he never intended to blow the whistle anyway.
He's in deep trouble himself as his debt crisis has finally come to a head. With his job gone, his only options left are selling his house or living on the streets. But just then, Zara produces a hardware wallet. It turns out that during that night's chaos, she anticipated being searched by the police, so she deliberately left her regular wallet for them to check, while secretly hiding this one. What this wallet contains is the £20 million that originally belonged to Myla.
So what are you going to do now, Zara?
Something exciting, and that concludes the British series The Curse. The title was actually just updated on a certain movie platform, and it does feel more appropriate. As for the finale, I've condensed and refined the narrative based on the original show. The pacing of the 6th episode in the original series was a bit off, with too many forced fight scenes that felt tedious and somewhat illogical. In the original ending, Officer Kovac uncovers minor clues revealing that Darren, the high-level financial investigator, is the mastermind, and then takes Zara along to confront him. Without any substantial evidence, just a few words from Kovac prompted Darren to suddenly come clean, which felt a bit abrupter. This is a recurring issue throughout the show. Earlier, when Zara identified Milo as the high-level insider for the robbers, Milo also confessed after just a few sentences, missing that thrill of a high-stakes psychological battle. Furthermore, after Darren explains his motives, he offers $10 million and begs Kovac to let him off the hook, which seems inconsistent with the character he had established. Of course, the director likely wanted to highlight Kovac's integrity in rejecting the $10 million, even to despair with no choice but to sell his house and live on the streets. In the end, Zara producing the $20 million creates an understandable contrast. Overall, this series is well worth watching. If you're interested, do check out the original show. Thank you for joining me. If you enjoy my work, liking and following is the greatest encouragement to me. Wishing you all the very best, and that all your wishes come true. See you in the next one.